Welcome to the Master Module. This is a specific tool set of guided meditations. We made them with the goal of sparking new ideas, changing perspective, and helping you to navigate the complexities and the stress of life. We hope that these guided meditations will provide clarity and help you answer some questions you've been struggling with for a while. Each meditation is disconnected from the rest, so feel free to jump from one to another depending on what your interest is in each particular day, but we strongly recommend you go through all of them. You've made an incredible decision to join an elite group of people who use meditation every day to better themselves and their lives. If in the advanced module we learned how to play around in one's mind, how to focus it, and how to make peace, this time we're shifting focus to very specific ideas and concepts that you have to face in your daily life. Today, I'd like to talk to you about health, how to develop it, how to maintain it, and how to not throw everything away and waste your days locked up in a gym. For what's the point of living longer if you don't make the most out of the days when you can actually enjoy life? The goal of this session is to shift the ideas around health you have in your mind and see if there's a better way to approach this issue. But for this to happen, we need you to be focused and pay close attention to what your mind is doing. Find a comfortable position and get ready to begin. As your body begins to relax, take a big breath in. By now, you're already accustomed to focusing on your breath, on the way your body expands, the way your shoulders lift up when you breathe in, and the falling sensation you experience when the air goes out. Another breath in and let it out. You are now breathing on manual mode. Your attention is focused on breathing, on your nostrils, and the way they tense up when you breathe in, and the way they release that tension when you let the air out. Let's begin scanning our body from the top of our head and slowly moving down. Notice how your body feels today. Notice your ears, your neck, your shoulders, and keep scanning down. Straighten your back and allow your body to rest properly as you continue to scan down to the way your legs feel, the muscles in your body, and the contact points between you and the floor. This entire biological structure is very similar to a machine, which you are responsible for taking care of, or at least you have the most to gain if it is being properly looked after. For at the end of the day, your body houses the most valuable thing you have, yourself. The better this machine is running, the better your life usually is. Just take a moment to think about this. You can improve almost all aspects of your life if you make sure your physical body is in better shape than it is today. You will feel better. You will sleep better. You will look better. Your mind will process information quicker. People will treat you differently, better than they have before, and the opposite sex will notice you more. We depend on this physical machine to achieve daily tasks, and people have learned to judge each other based on physical characteristics like health and strength. In the eyes of the world, a healthier person will always be the better choice for a partner, for a promotion, because that's someone who takes themselves seriously and is taking care of themselves. A healthy person is someone you can trust. Health is split into two major parts: the physical aspect of health and the mental. These two need to keep each other in check for optimal performance. You often see people who master one of them, but their life ends because of the other. Unhealthy behavior bleeds out into the other. A weak mind will not be able to motivate the bearer to have a healthy body. Instead, it will convince the host that toxic behavior is acceptable. The same thing happens with a weak body. The mind will not be as agile as it could be. You will find yourself repeating conversations in your mind, juggling different scenarios of what you should have said back when the discussion took place. If your body were in tune with your mind, when the time comes, you will perform at a high level, regardless of situation or environment. So, how does a person achieve this type of health? It's easy to look at the people who have ran the experiment for hundreds of years. In Japan, there's a very interesting island called Okinawa. On it, people casually live over 100 years, and many of them reaching the age of 110. Not only do they survive the longest, but they also remain mentally sharp until they die. They maintain friendships. They laugh. Their sex lifespan is longer than anywhere else in the world. After them, there's this community in Sardinia, Italy, that also lives incredibly long and fruitful lives. For this session in particular, we studied the behaviors of these two communities and what they do differently from the rest of the world, and how we can apply the same principles to our own busy lives. The first thing we noticed is the climate they reside in, giving them the opportunity to spend more time in the sun and by the water. Climate influences the crops that grow, which leads into what and how they eat. Both communities enjoy fresh food, food that was harvested and prepared fresh, with a focus on vegetables and fish. Chicken, beef, and pork are not as big of a part in their diet as they are in the rest of the world. In both cultures, they focus on the quality of the food they eat, not on the quantity. The Okinawans never eat until they are full. They stop eating when they're at 80% and never go beyond. They very rarely eat dessert and avoid sugar as much as possible. The Japanese drink green tea, while the Sardinians enjoy a single glass of red wine after a meal. Food is the fuel we put in our body, and we spend a big portion of our lives eating. So why not start paying attention to it? The second part has to do with physical movement. All this sitting around in office chairs and in bed is harming our bodies. Our lifestyles are actually accelerating the aging process. The Okinawans walk almost every day and spend a good portion of their time taking care of their gardens. Here's something you might not know. After 30 minutes of sitting in a chair or lying down, the body drops the metabolism to 10% of what it is while you're being active. That's why you're building fat. You're not moving enough. You're not eating right. And your mind is not paying attention to these things. Speaking of the mind, this is the final element of our recipe for health. Both cultures put an emphasis on mental health. While the Okinawans practice meditation, the Sardinians practice reflection. They are both at peace with their minds. This allows them to have better relationships with other humans, which led both cultures to build quality support groups around the individual in order to thrive. The goal with health is to be able to enjoy the present for as long as possible, and you can achieve that by making subtle changes to the way you live. Right now, as you're listening to this session, you are aware that there are some things in your life you need to rid yourself of. The easiest part is to stop doing what is harming you. Once you see the positive impact that has on your life, you'll want more and finally start optimizing your physical health, your mind, and your relationships. I hope this session sparked the fire within you to start changing your life. By beginning with your health, you will see that everything else will follow. As you open your eyes, you are now looking at the world through a new lens, one of potential, and it's all up for grabs. Go get it.